India have informed the ICC that they will not be travelling to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy on government advice. Hybrid models have been put forward, but Pakistan are not yet accepting any of them. Those include the possibility of India playing their games in Sri Lanka or the UAE. But this is a real mess. If India reach the final, they will be playing 5 out of the 15 games in the competition, including 2/3 of the knockout games. So obviously that's incredibly difficult to plan when you don't know who goes through. Ben, Sachin asks, what do you think is the fairest way for the ICC to resolve the Pakistan-India Champions Trophy situation? Because the other complication is it's less than 3 months away and sponsors are getting twitchy.
Well, I mean, fairest from a sporting point of view would be that if India don't want to travel, then fine, let's go to the team who are, denied the World Cup, which would be Sri Lanka, and do that. But that's not what's going to happen. But the tricky thing is as well for so if that's not going to happen, then if you kind of throw sporting fairness out the window to an extent and just look at what is the compromise you can come up with that's least messy, is that Pakistan, I think, if they don't want to go and play India, that obviously India are the biggest draw, but also the biggest draw in any of these events, and kind of why you stage them sometimes, especially something like the Champions Trophy, is so that India can play Pakistan. So actually, if Pakistan have they don't have loads of power, but actually they have quite a lot of power. If they say we're not going to travel, that does put the IC in a really tricky position. And I mean, the thing that's just mad about it is you could see this coming from an absolute mile off. It's harsh on Pakistan, kind of whatever goes on. But why are the ICC kind of almost agreeing to host tournament in Pakistan, knowing that this thing is going to come up, without any sort of kind of seeming planning or working towards making it happen, so this entirely predictable mess doesn't just crop up, basically. That's the thing that I find the most bizarre about the whole thing. So I mean, I think maybe the fairest way could be to, if Pakistan don't want to leave Pakistan to play India, would be maybe to rejig the groups and to have Pakistan India not in the same group, and then you don't get a Pakistan India game, and you have a real problem if they get to a semi-final,
knockout stage,
or well, I guess if they get to a semi-final, you can rejig it as they are happy to do with other things, saying if these two teams get through, then they don't play each other in the semi-final. They both get to the final. I don't know. Share the trophy. I don't know in that case, but I think that it might be that we have
the question you would ask is basically this: if it were any other team not going, then that team would no longer be in the tournament, right?
As there is precedent for in 2003.
Absolutely.
England didn't go to Zimbabwe,
and you forfeit the points.
Yeah, I mean that would be the fairest thing. But as Ben says, the reason why there's no other thread for me there. Well, you don't have the competition there.
Oh, no, they don't play. I mean, I know that sounds shocking, but the competition goes ahead. Everybody takes the hit. Who's number 9?
I think it would be Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Cup, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. Because if this was anybody else, it's exactly what would be happening.
But I guess
Pakistan are very much within their rights to say, you've awarded us the tournament. We are we've made safety guarantees. We've been doing this for years for all travelling teams. As far as we were concerned, you gave it to us in good faith. And therefore that's what's going to happen. Why should they turn around and take the ruin their chance of staging a big tournament like this after however many years they've been out of the thing, because India aren't going to go. I mean, at any other tournament, any other thing, Wimbledon wouldn't get rearranged because the players from a certain country, from Spain, for example, weren't able to travel. They would just replace them with somebody else, and the tournament goes ahead.
I agree with everything you said. But, why does the Champions Trophy exist? It's the ICC. It's a revenue generator for the ICC. They make money from hosting global competitions. Yeah. Where does that money come from? Vast majority of it comes from India to watch India.
But then, as Ben said, from the moment that they were awarded it, the first thing that anybody with half a brain thinks of is that, India won't go. So either you don't give it to them in the first place, or now that you have, you make sure that the whole thing can take place. There is no satisfactory way of doing it now.
Yeah.
There's not one.
And the other thing is, who's the incoming ICC chair? Jay Shah. Is he going to have a tough conversation with the outgoing BCI secretary, Jay Shah, about, I'm putting my foot down with my one hat on against you, with the other hat on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and it also is just worth dwelling on. So Greg Buck is outgoing as ICC chair, and this is, the third men's global tournament out of 3 in a row that have been pretty badly beset by logistical issues. So you've got the 2023 World Cup, where the schedule got released really late, and then they changed about a sixth of the games a month out from when the tournament is on, and there's other stuff going on in there with India choosing their pitches and that kind of thing. Then you get to the 2024 T20 World Cup, which has had staff sort of leaving their roles over how badly mismanaged from a financial point of view that US leg of the tour was in particular. You had them staging games in monsoon territory pretty much, getting just completely washed out.
Yeah, those dangerous pitches in New York.
Exactly, and now you've got this. So that is not a great track record from the end of the
And you feel for Pakistan as well, not since '96 they hosted a global tournament. It's been huge for them, and everything that we know that this was on the horizon. And also I was talking to a couple of colleagues in the Wisden India team, and they point out that other Indian sport teams are touring Pakistan. It's a specific cricket political thing. So the Indian tennis team played a Davis Cup game there last year, for example. So it's a very specific cricket issue.
Yeah.